All right, we're going to look at a couple of situations and see what we come up with. So if I had 2 kids plus 2 kids, of course we know that's going to be 4 kids. If I had 2 apples plus 3 apples, that's going to give me 5 apples. Then if I had 1/3 plus 1/3, that gives me 2/3. But what about if I had 2 apples plus 1 orange? So in this case, I can't just say 3 because I'm not sure 3 of what. So I have to get a common unit. So I could change the apples to fruit and the orange to fruit, and I could say 2 fruits plus 1 fruit gives me 3 pieces of fruit. So that's actually what we're going to do today whenever we are adding fractions. We have to have a common denominator. And, with this problem, the 1/3 plus 1/3, we did have a common denominator, so we added the numerators. But on this problem here, 1/2 plus 1/3, we are going to have to first get a common denominator before we can add. And so there's different ways that we can do that. We can find equivalent fractions to get a common denominator. And I'm going to start out by using a model to do this. So I'm going to draw rectangles. And I'm going to split this first one in half. And then I'm going to draw my second one. And I'm going to split it into thirds. So I've got 1/2, so I'm going to go ahead and shade that in. And then I've got my 1/3. Now to create like units, I'm going to make the half look like thirds. So now I'm going to divide it into thirds. Notice I didn't change anything that was shaded. I still have that same amount shaded. I just made it into thirds so that they would now have like units whenever I then go over here and make this one look like a half. So whatever my opposite denominator is, I can make the other one look like it by cutting it into pieces of that size. So again, I didn't change what was shaded. I still have a third here, but I've changed the size of the pieces. So that's what happens whenever we make an equivalent fraction. I still have a half, but the pieces are smaller. So what I've got now is 1, 2, 3 out of the 6 pieces. And then over here, I've got 2 out of 6 pieces. So I've got 3/6 plus 2/6. So now I've got a common unit, so I can add these together. So that gives me 5/6. So I could, put these 2 over here and just have one picture, and that would give me the 5/6. Or I can look at, just combining the 2. So this is how it works whenever we are adding or subtracting fractions. We have to get a common unit first. And using the diagram is one way that we can do that. So let's go ahead and we'll try one more. So let's say now I have 1/4 plus 1/3. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to make my model, divide it into fourths. And then I'm going to divide this one into thirds. And the main thing that you want to remember when you're doing these is you want to do one of them with vertical lines and one with horizontal. So it doesn't matter which one you do with which, as long as you do one of each. And that'll make it easier when we're doing the models. All right, so here I've got 1/4. And then here I have 1/3. All right, and then we're going to divide this into, we're going to make like units. So this is going to become thirds. And then this one's going to become fourths. So I want you to finish up this problem. So you're going to rename our new fractions that are equivalent. We still had the same amount shaded, so we know they are equivalent. So I'm going to let you finish up this problem and answer it on the Google form.